feeling this weather. In the mornings, it's been feeling like fall. Like I'm wearing a flannel, like a warm flannel. It's kind of chilly. I'm starting to see leaves change. I'm starting to see leaves on the ground. Today I'm going to talk to you guys about a little bit about how much it cost us to raise these meat birds. Our experience raising meat birds, this is our third time raising our own meat birds. These are Freedom Rangers. Last year was our first time raising our own meat birds. We raised 25 birds and they were a heritage breed barred rock. They're a dual purpose bird. Now the heritage breeds are a lot slower growing, which we knew that, but we wanted to try it for ourselves. If you look at our earlier videos that we were doing, I did a few videos on that process that we did last year of raising the heritage breed birds. All right, here we have 26 pastured chickens. Those heritage breed birds took 18 weeks before we processed them to grow because they're just a lot more slower growing. We raised them in the chicken tractor the same way how we're raising these ones. To raise those heritage breed birds, which were a lot slower growing, it took 18 weeks, you know, paying full price for feed. And I was looking at close to $32 per bird to raise. But the cost to raise them, I didn't feel was where we wanted to be. We decided to raise Freedom Rangers as our next batch of birds, and this is our second time this year raising these birds. We are processing them at 10 weeks. We are raising them the same way that we did our birds last year in the chicken tractor. Same system. We feed them the same amount. Now this is things that I just figured out as we're raising these chickens. And so before we moved here, you know, you would look at, you know, videos or try to hear stories of people actually doing it and how much it costs them to raise these birds. And it's just, it depends where you live, it depends what birds they are, it depends how much you could get feed for. It just depends on your own situation. So what I'm explaining here is our experience raising these meat birds and what it cost us. Let's talk about feed for a minute. So I bought in bulk. I bought enough feed to last us the rest of our last meat birds and these meat birds. But to calculate that prior, I needed that experience of doing meat birds last year, seeing how much they ate, and then doing the meat birds again. They go through 50 pounds of feed every 7 days. Because I bought in bulk, 50-pound bags cost me $19 versus the $37 I was paying. So that dropped the price significantly. And it also depends on at what week are you processing these birds. We are doing them at 10 weeks. So if you break that price down at $19 a bag at 10 weeks, and these are 30 birds, and to buy these birds it cost us $2 each. To raise 30 pasture raised chickens, it's costing us about $8.50 to raise one bird. And if you break that down even further, per pound, you're looking at close to around $2 per pound depending on how much the chicken weighs. These last birds that we processed a few months ago, they're averaging about from 4 pounds to 5 pounds. So to recap on pastured poultry, I'm just learning this stuff. You know, we're only a year, it's only been a year since we've been doing it ourselves. It's costing us about $2 a pound per bird to raise. Versus here where we're at, like in Asheville, North Carolina, you're looking at the people who actually do it and sell it at a larger scale, they're charging $6 a pound per bird. So are we saving money? Yes. But really, that's not why we're doing this. Before we moved here, this was the plan, to do our own meat birds. If we were gonna start a homestead, I wanted to be able to do that for us. for our family. But I really didn't know how much that was going to cost. I'm just learning this as we're doing it. Of course, we're not experts. We're still learning. You know, maybe our whole process will change over time. I don't know. But for now, this is what is costing us to raise these meat birds. It's more of the process is why we're doing it. To just witness it, just to be a part of the journey of moving these chickens out in pasture every day, fresh grass, fresh bugs, just watching them grow and taking care of them, and then eventually processing them ourselves. That experience right there is why we're doing it. Chicken comes from somewhere. Somebody has to butcher them, and we want to be the one to do it. So to raise chicken, to raise your own pasture raised chickens, it really all depends on how much the bird costs, where you live, how much you could get feed for. Are you processing birds yourself? You could take them to a processor. For this amount of birds, they charge $6 per bird. So that would raise the price up significantly. To recap, these Freedom Rangers is costing us to raise one bird about $9. I just wanted to share with you guys how much it really does cost us to raise these meat birds. Maybe some of you are wondering if they should raise their own meat birds or not, how much is it gonna cost and all this. And you know, you still have to make a chicken tractor, you still have to get some equipment if you're gonna do it yourself. So all that, you know, that's an initial upfront cost. You know, I think it's well worth it, you know. And again, I don't think it's about saving money, really. I mean, there is that, but I didn't know how much they cost before we raised them. Like, that wasn't why I wanted to do it. But I hope this helps. I appreciate you guys watching. And let's keep moving. Let's keep grooving. Let's get it done.